The Brave Viking Warrior. Chapter 1. Bjorn the Viking. In a small village by the sea, there lived a young Viking named Bjorn. He had long red hair and a strong body. Bjorn was brave and kind. He dreamed of becoming a great warrior. The year was 800 AD. Life was hard for the Vikings. They had to farm, fish, and sometimes fight to survive. Bjorn worked hard every day to help his family and village. Chapter 2. The Viking Ship. One day, a big Viking ship came to the village. It was long and had a dragon head at the front. The ship was beautiful and strong. The leader of the ship was a famous warrior named Eric. He was looking for brave men to join his crew. Bjorn's heart beat fast. This was his chance to become a real Viking warrior. Bjorn went to Eric. "I want to join your crew," he said. Eric looked at Bjorn. He saw that Bjorn was strong and brave. "Welcome aboard," Eric said with a smile. Chapter 3. Learning to be a warrior. Bjorn said goodbye to his family. He was sad to leave, but excited for his new adventure. On the ship, Bjorn learned many new things. He learned how to row the big ship. He learned how to use a sword and shield. He learned about the stars and how to find his way across the sea. The other Vikings were tough, but they became Bjorn's friends. They told stories around the fire at night. Bjorn loved his new life as a Viking warrior. Chapter 4. The Storm. One night, a big storm came. The waves were as tall as mountains. The wind howled like a wolf. The ship rocked back and forth. Bjorn was scared, but he didn't show it. He worked hard with the other Vikings to keep the ship safe. They tied down everything that could fall. They used big oars to steer the ship. For 3 days and nights, they fought against the storm. Bjorn was tired, but he didn't give up. Finally, the storm ended. The Vikings had won against the angry sea. Chapter 5. The New Land. After many days at sea, the Vikings saw land. It was a place they had never been before. The land had tall trees and green hills. It looked beautiful and rich. Eric decided they would explore this new land. Bjorn was excited. This was why he became a Viking, to see new places and find new things. The Vikings pulled their ship onto the beach. They made a camp and started to explore. Bjorn helped to make shelters and find food in the forest. Chapter 6. Meeting the Locals. One day, while exploring, Bjorn saw smoke from a fire. He told Eric, and they went to look. They found a village of people who lived in this new land. The local people were scared of the Vikings at first, but Bjorn smiled and held out his hands to show he was friendly. Slowly, the local people came closer. Bjorn and the Vikings couldn't speak the same language as the local people, but they used hand signs to talk. They shared food and stories. Bjorn was happy to make new friends in this strange land. Chapter 7. The Big Challenge. Everything was good until one day. a group of bad men came to attack the local village. The Vikings saw that their new friends were in danger. Eric called his warriors together. "We must help these people," he said. Bjorn agreed. He was ready to use all he had learned as a Viking warrior. The Vikings put on their armor and took their weapons. They stood with the local people to fight against the bad men. Bjorn was scared, but he was also brave. Chapter 8. The Great Battle. The battle was hard. Bjorn fought with all his strength. He used his sword and shield just like he had learned. He protected his friends and the local people. The bad men were strong, but the Vikings and the local people were stronger together. After a long fight, the bad men ran away. The local people cheered for the Vikings. They were very thankful. Bjorn felt proud. He had used his strength to help others, not just to fight. Chapter 9. A Hero's Welcome. When it was time to go home, the local people gave the Vikings many gifts. They had become good friends. Bjorn was sad to leave, but he was excited to see his family again. The journey home was long, but Bjorn wasn't the same young Viking who had left his village. He was now a true warrior, brave and wise. When Bjorn's ship came back to his home village, everyone cheered. They had heard stories of the Vikings' adventures. Bjorn's family was so proud of him. Epilogue. Bjorn's Legacy. Bjorn lived a long life as a great Viking warrior. He went on many more adventures, but he always remembered that being brave wasn't just about fighting. It was about helping others and making friends. Bjorn taught young Vikings that being strong was good, but being kind was even better. He told stories of his adventures and the people he met in faraway lands. Even when Bjorn was old, people came from far away to hear his stories. And in the hearts of his people, Bjorn would always be remembered as the bravest and kindest Viking warrior of all.